Let us advance to data type 2 mode. Let's try to find the mode of data type 2. Um, from the previous knowledge, we learned that if you are looking for mode, we are looking at the element or the item that is having the greatest count. The greatest count. So mode is basically uh, trying to find the item that appears the most in the data set. And we understood that how data type 1 is linked to data type 2. So in data type 1, we have to count each of the items in the data set one after the other. But data type 2 simplifies that work for us. So with data type 2, we can easily look at the frequency and pick the greatest number, and the greatest frequency, that's why we just link to data type 1. So we've been doing this in data type 1 when we're trying to find the mode. But in the data type 2 format, it is already counted for us. Each item is counted for us. Each item is associated with its count. So it's easy to just not do the extra work, but the data type 2 just simplify the thing for you. So you can read and then fetch the item that is the greatest count. So the mode for data type 2 is quite one of the easiest things that you can ever get. And we are going to just look at the two examples building on the what we have, the examples that we'll be using so far. So the first example that we use is this one. And in this, already, this is data type 2 format. We all agree on that based on what we have been learning so far. If you missed that, kindly go and search for the videos that is how to identify the data types, and then how the understanding the logic of data type 2. Yes, so now we have the data type 2 format. We are looking for data type 1. If you are looking for the mode is just referring to the item that is having the greatest count or the greatest repeat. If I say count many times, I say count is the same as the frequency. So we are looking at the element or the item that is having the greatest frequency. So in our table, we have item against frequency. So in our frequency, we can see there are numbers there. And we can see from them, there's definitely one or two that are at the top, the highest, right? So in this case, in our counts, what do we have? Which of them has the greatest count? So if you look at 1, 7, 6, 5, 3, 4, already 7 is the greatest number here. So the greatest frequency here is 7, but the mode is not the frequency. We said that when we read that point, the mode is not the frequency. The mode is the item that is associated with that highest frequency. That's a mistake most people do, so take note of that. So the mode for data type 2 is basically the same as data type 1, but with data type 1, we have to count. We have to count first. So the counting that we were doing, we were trying to convert it indirectly to data type 2, because data type 2 is the best way of viewing what what mode is there. So the mode for this will just be the greater count is here. So the item, as I said, is 4. So the mode for this set mode is 4. Our mode is the item 4, because we can see that 4 is associated with the higher frequency, which is 7. Basically, that's it. That is, you've done this before in data type 1, and data type 2 just make it easy for us. So it's a straightforward. Let's look at the second example that we're using so far for data type 2 format. The second example is this one. So yes, we don't need this f of x. We saw it in the previous session, right? So we are just not looking at the f of x this time again. So let me just clean that for you so you don't get confused. F of x was, you have to find the mean in the previous video. So now for this one, we are just looking for the count or the frequency, right? So the highest, the greatest frequency, or the item with the greatest count. So we are just looking for the mode. So looking for the mode, we just go to the frequency and see which frequency is okay. 16. I can see 16 being the highest, right? Okay, 16 is being the highest. What's the item associated with that? Is just 3, item 3. So the mode is 3 in this case, item 3 in this case. That's it. That is it. That's how to easily find the mode. So the exercise you have to do now is to go through all your uh, textbooks, look at the data type 2, and try to just fetch the mode. Some of the things you might find out is that some of the items, let's say for example, here's an example, right? You have 16 here, and 2 is also at 16. So 16, 16. So the mode that you have at that moment will be what? So just list all of them. More than 2 and what? 2 and 3. They are the mode at that time. So they are the modes at that time because they are now modes. Right? 2 and 3 because they are the top and they are the same level. But if one is above the other, just looking for the high frequency. If multiple of them are the top, yes. But if all of them have the same number, then there is no mode because there's no higher. Right? But if there's any difference somewhere, we explained that when we find the mode of the type 1, the same logic applies here. So yes, simply put, that's how it is. So we find the mode for the type 2 and this thing. Try to do the exercise and let's see how to do the median in the next video.